The reason I got into this business is what happened as in my life, the events that just occurred in my life. When I was 22 years old, I came down with severe rheumatoid arthritis, and it was crippling. I had to drop out of university, and I was just in a lot of pain, and it went on for years and years. And it was just this awful state to be in. And after a while, I finally got sick of it, and not that I was enjoying it before, but I got to that point where something has to be done. And I talked to my dad, and he said there was this program in India called combined therapy, and they were supposed to have great results with people with illnesses. Why don't you go try it out? So I went over there, and because he said India, and the place was like this sort of energetic, happy place, I thought someone's going to do all this woo-woo stuff on me and heal my body, and that's not what happened at all. I ended up talking with this guy for 2 weeks. And it was like talking to a psychiatrist, but we looked at all these aspects of my life, and we finally got to this place where I realized when I was a little kid, my mom was sick, and I made this decision: I need to be responsible for my mom because she can't take care of me. I need to take care of her. And as a consequence of that, I thought, well, now I need to take care of my brother and my sister because she usually takes care of them. And I created this belief that I needed to be responsible for everyone in my life. So then I became responsible for my dad, for my cousins, my friends, and the more I grew up and the more people I got exposed to, I became responsible for them too. Now, it was an underlying belief, so it's not like I was going out everywhere and going, oh, I need to take care of you and you need to be okay and I need to educate you, but it was just that belief running underneath. And I got through high school and I went into university, and at that point in university, I was taking, it was all, again, responsibility. I was taking a course that I felt was a responsible course to take, not what I really wanted to take. And finally, my body said, that's it. And what happened is my body came up with a solution for a problem I didn't even know I had. And it said, if you're lying in bed in pain, you don't have to be responsible for anyone. Problem solved. So that's what caused the arthritis. And it wasn't until, decades later that I got this awareness in this session. And I said, you know what? If that's what's causing the arthritis, then from this moment on, I'm not going to be responsible for anyone but me. That's it, done. The next morning I woke up, all the pain, all the inflammation, gone. The arthritis had left my body. And it was that one belief causing all that illness for all those years. But I didn't even know it was there, so there's no way I could have fixed it. And that is what led me to energetic magic, because I realized that if this guy could do this for me in 2 weeks, I could do this for other people. And in working with it and learning to work with other people's beliefs, I've gotten that down. So for some clients, it will take 2 weeks, it could take 2 months, it could take a year, but it can also go the other way. And I've had people's lives change in as little as one session. And it's all just finding that belief that's controlling their relationships or their money flow or their health or whatever it is, and getting them to make that decision to destroy that belief. And then it is like magic. Like for me, it was magical. I wake up the next morning, I'm like, why am I not in pain? Why am I able to move better? Right? So it was crazy. And now I'm watching my clients, and these things are happening for them. They're coming out of pain. Their jobs they're doing well in their jobs. Their careers are taking off. They're finding the people that they really love and having relationships for them. And that's why I'm in doing what I'm doing, because it's amazing to help people create magic in their lives. So, originally, once I got out of being sick, I went back to school and got into computers, which is what I really loved, and I've been doing computers since I was 14 years old for fun, so why not make a career out of it? And I worked at Oracle. I used it to travel the world, and had an amazing time just programming and developing and creating programs from scratch, and that's one thing I love, is creating things. And then after a while, I got led down the spiritual path, and it was funny because I was doing the computers when I was still in pain with the arthritis, but then I continued it for a while afterwards because I thought, well, that solves the problem. But then I realized there's more. And then I started studying other spiritual techniques, access consciousness, theta healing, movement feedback therapy, and I took from them the things that really resonated with me and created my own modality. And at this point, it doesn't really look like any of those things anymore because it's truly mine. But it's a way of just digging deep with people to get to those beliefs that are holding them back really quickly and just ripping them out, basically. And when people have a belief taken out, oftentimes they can actually physically feel a change. And they're like, wow, I feel lighter. And it's neat to watch that because it happens in real time in a session. And they leave feeling happier and freer and open up to more opportunities and possibilities. And that's what happened in my career. This business has been going on about 4 years now. And yeah, when I started it, it was funny because I called the business Energetic Magic, but I haven't even really decided what it was yet. I was still using other modalities and just using them on people. And over the course of a couple of years, I realized I'd created my own modality, and then I thought, well, what do I call it? And they're like, well, you've already named it. The business is called Energetic Magic. I'm like, that's right. So that's what happened. Mm-hmm. Well, the wonderful thing about being in business for yourself is you don't have a boss. And I set my own hours. I love the fact that most of the time I don't start my day till 11 o'clock. So it's not like get up early and the sun's not even out in the winter time and then I start my day. But you know, I see clients and do workshops sometimes till 10, 11 at night. So it's not like I do a short day. But if I want to take a day off, I do it. If I want to hold a workshop for a weekend or a week, I do it. And it's just, it's fun having that flexibility and getting to choose my clients. And when you're working for someone else, you probably have to work with people, clients or coworkers you don't want to, and that doesn't exist in my business, so it's wonderful. When I first started, I created a meetup group. There's a site, meetup.com, and just invited people to come in to have discussions, and then I started workshops. And so I'm still very much a presence on Meetup. Most of my clients show up from Meetup, but now I'm advertising on Facebook, and that's doing well. I go to networking events, and I've started on Eventbrite, selling tickets there, and that's brought more people in as well. So it's constantly expanding, and now I'm starting to do radio as well. So I'm just seeing more and more opportunities showing up, and whatever feels good, I jump on it. Through Meetup. Meetup and networking were the biggest things for me when I started. And because Meetup is amazing because you start a Meetup group and everyone that's interested in what you do just shows up, right? And there's a Meetup group for everything. So when I first created the group, I didn't know what was going to happen, but all of a sudden, when you sign up, it starts showing it to a few people before it actually launches, and so people start joining and joining and joining. And by the time it actually did the formal announcement, there's this new group, there were already like 40 members in it, and then another 40 members jumped in. So I had my first meetup where I hadn't done anything except fill out a forms, and there was over 20 people that showed up. And I'm like, okay, this is a good start. And so now, depending on the event, I can get like 40, 50 people coming out to an event, and Meetup's doing all the work for me. I just post the event and people look on it and show up. It's wonderful. I think the biggest impact that technology has for a business like mine is just being able to connect people via the internet for a video conference. So my clients can be anywhere in the world, and I can connect with them and we can do a session together. And you know, that wasn't possible a couple decades ago, and it was difficult even a decade ago because connection problems and all that. But now it's just someone makes an appointment, doesn't matter where they are, we just make sure we've got the time zones right. And I send them a link, they come onto a video chat, and we just start going. And it's great because I've had clients in Spain, most of my clients are in Canada and the United States, but there was one in Switzerland. I've worked with people in Australia, and so wherever you are, I can get in contact with you. Who do I go to for advice? That's a good one. Uh, there's no one specific that I go to. I'll go on to online workshops and webinars for anything that looks interesting and that I feel my business is lacking in. And because I do a lot of networking, then at those networking things, I'll look for experts on what I'm looking for and have conversations with them. And the thing I've always learned is you've always got to go to the experts for advice. A lot of people just ask their buddy, right? and ask someone who's doing as well or not as well as them, what should I do? And you've always got to go to someone that's more successful and more experienced. And even for learning more techniques, I look for people that are in that spiritual realm that are at a huge level, like so much more powerful and prosperous than me, because that's the energy I want to go to. And I go to workshops with them or set up a one-on-one appointment with them and see what happens. Sometimes as the ethical concern comes up about, am I telling a person how to live their life? And one of the things I always look for is some of my clients start to become dependent, and it's like, Shiraz, what do I do? Shiraz, how do I handle this? And it's not my job to tell you what to do. It's my job to show you different ways of being. So I often just say straight out to the clients, I'm not here to make your decisions for you. Right? There have been a couple times where I have, but it was something like incredibly obvious. Like I had a client that said, should I break up with my boyfriend? And I'm like, I can't tell you whether you should break up with your boyfriend. And I said, what's the relationship like? And he said, well, he's not nice to me. He demeans me all the time. He's stolen money from me. He hates my daughter. He isolates me from my friends. And sometimes he can get physical with me. And I'm like, well, yeah, you should break up with your boyfriend then. Like, this shouldn't be a discussion. But unless it's that obvious, it's just like, no, you need to make your own decisions. I want my clients to think for themselves. And that's the only time we get into those ethical dilemmas. The main service I offer is one-on-one counseling or coaching, and that involves us having a conversation about what's going on in your life and what you'd like to change. And when you're talking, I can see the energy of what the subconscious beliefs are versus what the conscious beliefs are. So when you say something and you're out of alignment with your subconscious beliefs, it shows up in your energy, and I can say, well, what you're saying isn't actually true for you. And it's funny because like I'll ask a question like, would you love to double your income? And clients will be, of course I would. But then the energy will go, no. I'm like, okay, that's not true. So let's look at that and find out why you don't want to double your income. And there's all sorts of subconscious beliefs that can come up for people. And it could be like, if you rich people are evil, so I don't want to make lots of money because then I will become evil. Or if I make too much money, then my friends will get jealous. Or if I make too much money, then everyone will come to me and want some of it, and I don't want to have to deal with that. And there's all these things that are lurking in the subconscious, and consciously you're like, lots of money, great. But unconsciously, those things come up, and then we'll identify them, and we'll hit them one at a time. Are you willing to destroy this belief? Are you willing to destroy this belief? Are you willing to destroy this belief? And we'll knock them out. And you're always open to say no. Sometimes people don't want to destroy the belief, even though it's limiting their lives. I always tell my clients they're in choice. But most of the time, we start clearing these things out, and then for something like money, they start to see more money showing up. It may not show up in the way you want, but as long as you're open to it, it just starts to show up. And we can do that for relationships, we can do that for health, we can do that for anything in a one-on-one session. The second thing I do, one of the biggest programs I have is the 25-day program. And in that, I work on your energy for 25 days in a row. And people love this because it's not in person. It's not like you have to check in every day. It's all done remotely, so you can just go about your day, and I work on the energy remotely, and it's like getting an energetic shower every day. It pulls crap off you. It aligns you better to spirit, to energy. It helps just make things more clear and make you more aware. And often people can feel the effects of the energy coming in or going out, depending on what I'm doing, and see changes happening in their lives. Sometimes it's immediate and big, sometimes it's the subtle thing, and you look back and go, wow, things have really changed over the last month. And each month we do a different theme. We work on money, we work on ego, we work on relationships, we work on health, and if there are different levels to the program, so if you're at the lowest level, which is the clearing level, then I just clear you out every day, and that works for a lot of people. If you want to go to the next level, which is shifting, then you can send me an emails through the month on what you'd like to shift under that topic, and I will shift that energy for you and everyone else in the group. And that's great because other people will be sending in things that you wouldn't think of that may relate to you, and I'll be shifting it for them and you. So the more emails I get in from members of the group, the more stuff happens during the month. And then the top level is the magic level, where you get everything in the other two levels, plus you get a 2-hour group, actually two 2-hour group coaching calls each month, where we go really deep into issues for people, and those are, it's called the magic level because those turn out to be very magical. There's always laughter and tears and realizations and big shifts for people in those calls, and we have a lot of fun in those calls. And that's the 25-day program. And then other than that, I do workshops on specific topic each month, some of them in person, some of them online. I now teach people how to do energetic magic so you can learn to do it yourself. We've done level 1 and 2 classes, and we're soon going to be introducing level 3 classes. And next year I'm actually starting all-day specialty classes on specific topics. In January, we're probably looking at an all-day money class to get rid of as many blocks and beliefs on making money as possible for people, and I think that's going to be pretty popular. So I think that's all the services that I can think of right now. I think what makes me successful is, number one, I don't take myself too seriously, and I'm there for the change in the clients, and I love watching that change, and that seems to attract more people in, and I'm very real with people. I found that some other spiritual people, and I've gone to spiritual classes, and everyone's very in this mood of light and love, and everything will be wonderful. And with me, it's like, no, there's a lot of crap going on in the world, and I know you have to deal with crap in your life, and you're not going to be able to be light and love all the time. So I want to help you to deal with the real world in real ways, but at the same time, clearing all these beliefs and blocks on why you can't be successful, why you can't be happy, why you can't have a great relationship. I want to get all that crap out of your life so your life will be amazing, but not all woo-woo. And I've had several clients make that comment. It's like, I came in and you were just so real and so present, and that's why I wanted to work with you. So actually, I work out of 2 different locations, this one and another one further downtown Toronto, and I chose them both because they are near the subway line, so people can get there easily. The facilities are really nice. They have like just the comfort for the clients that come out, for whether we're doing one-on-one or workshops. Everyone feels great. The energy of the place is great. Me. I'm unique about my business because no one does what I do or works with energy exactly the way I do it. And I've seen people use similar techniques, and there's going to be different nuances for people doing energy work, but there is a different energy in how I work. There's a different attitude from most people in how I work, and the results show that people love it. I taught a class just yesterday and asked people how it was at the end. I wanted to get some feedback, and one of the responses I got was life-changing, and that lets me know I'm doing the right thing. So the advantage to picking my clients is a lot of people want to be helped, and I'm there for helping people that want to be helped. But there are people out there that don't want to be helped, but they're going through the motions to show the world that they're trying to get help. And I can pick up on these people immediately, and they're in this victim mentality, so that they can come and work with me and then just say, well, you didn't do any good, or you weren't able to help me. And often they won't even say it that way. They'll say, I've tried everything and everyone I go to can't do anything. And that's because that's where they're existing. That's where their beliefs are. And if that's where they're happy, because technically they're happy there because they get to be right all the time that no one can help them, then I don't want to work with them. I will wait until they're in a place that they're actually ready to shift. And those are basically the clients I don't like to work with, and I will say, you need to find someone else. But otherwise, everyone that's open to change, I will take them in. I will do whatever I can for them. I love to contribute to people's lives. I say yes to clients because I see that they're stuck and they want to change, and I see that they have this potency in them to be bigger and better and happier, and they're just not sure or have no clue how to do it. And I love being a part of that process, to see them go from frustrated and struggling to just kicking ass, basically. One of my longest term clients, she was miserable when we first started working together, and she was at a job and she lived in a place she didn't like, and she hated her relationship. And now it's several years later, and she runs her own business. She makes 3 times as much as she's made when I first met her. She goes on a couple of vacations a year now, and like things are just taking off for her. She's like, I think she's hiring more people in her business this year because they're doing so well. And just watching that transformation was amazing, and I want to see that in all my clients. What I love most about energetic magic is the community that's grown around it. When I first started this business, I really thought it's just going to be a business I do and go out and see clients and do workshops, and that would be it. But I've gotten so close to a lot of my regular clients, and they've gotten close to each other, that it has become a community, and everyone's supporting each other. Everyone's helping each other to grow and get better and be more successful. And so we go out and we had a Christmas party together, and I was amused when I found out that they were hanging out too, because they'd come to a workshop and then they'd be talking about what happened the other night while they were dancing. And I was like, what, you guys go dancing together now? And it's like, yeah, we have a great time. And it's just amazing that this is what's being created. It's not just individuals, it's this whole community of love and support and growth and magic. And that's what I love most about my business right now. In a nutshell, what I do is I make people happy. And I've discovered that most people function from safety rather than happiness. And I help them to get out of that place of safety into this place of magic and wonder. And that's where the true happiness is. And it's just by overcoming all these beliefs that you need to be safe and you need to do everything to protect yourself, when everything that you want is in that place where you're unafraid and you're willing to be vulnerable and you're willing for people to be at odds at you, but you're still going to triumph and you're still going to be the big, amazing, beautiful self that you are, that the world has taught you you're not supposed to be. And the world tells you you've got to play it safe. You've got to not be out there and be visible to people. And it's exactly the opposite. You've got to be the biggest, best you there is, so that you can create change for yourself and for everyone in your life in the best way possible.